Clap, bitch.
Did you hear that? Do you want it more?
Probably. No, that's fine.
Okay.
I mean, the audio is probably going to be synced up naturally anyway, but we've done this long enough, mate. We're fucking professionals now. We've you know,
Episode 11.
We've been recognized by outside means.
There's nowhere else to go. This is the height of popularity.
Exactly. I got stopped walking down the street today just to be like, yo, are you the voice of Speech Waffle? And I was like, psh, obviously.
Oh.
And
I got stopped walking down the street and they asked me for a 20 pence. So.
Oh, but that's typical North, isn't it? So, you know.
Yeah, that's it. We're all just scrounging for whatever 20p's we can find on the street.
Like, you get asked for change, I get carried through the street on a throne.
Do you? Is that how it works in
Birmingham? In different lifestyles, that's how it works. Yes, you'd never understand, obviously.
Live in Birmingham and they carry him around on a throne.
Is that your best Birmingham impression, is it? Is that how we're going to start off? You're going to insult not only me.
That's the best I've got.
My family, everyone that's involved in Birmingham.
That's involved.
You're going to insult us, are you?
Like, you insult the North, so it's just paying my dues. This is just
okay, it's not insulting. It's not insulting if it's honest, is it?
Oh. We are all cheap. It's true. So what have you got to drink today? And are you going to be fiddling with it?
I have a bottle of water and I'll try my best to not fiddle with my bottle. And that is not a euphemism. Even though as sexy as it sounds, I won't be fiddling with my bottle today.
Well, I'm glad.
My bottle cap either.
I've had enough of you fiddling with your bottle.
Listen, you're more than welcome to do it yourself, but I recommend against it. I'm looking at the bottle now. I actually want to take a drink. You've listening through the old episodes, right? Honestly, especially episode 1, if I could go back in time a couple months, grab myself by the neck and give myself 2 solid, firm backhands of discipline, I would.
I'm sorry to report that episode 7 had a fair bit of bottle action as well.
Well, okay, bottle action's not too much of an issue. I'm talking about like fiddling with shit like on my table for some reason. Because bottle action, mate, I need to take a fucking drink. All right, dickhead.
I do, but
this voice doesn't maintain itself.
I've got a glass. I'm going to take a drink just so you can hear it.
Yeah, I heard that.
But then I have a problem when I put it down because I've got a wooden desk and I haven't done the sensible thing and put a felt mat. So I'm like, trying to put it down as gently as possible.
Joel, as riveting as this conversation is, no one probably gives a fuck.
How did you know?
I don't know, because I'm falling asleep. So
I want to ask you a question.
Go ahead, sure.
How do you stay alive?
Breathing.
Okay, there's a good basic. It's a good starting point. But I'm not interested
How do you
in how
walk
you
forward?
live.
I put my left foot and my right foot forward. Same time, actually.
At the same time,
Yeah.
You fall straight over, flat on your face.
Mm-hmm.
How do you stay alive in terms of living and thriving? Not just, the baseline surviving, but how do you actually know and remind yourself that you're alive? What do you do that just excites you more than nothing else?
It's a scary fucking question, all right? You're kind of delving into my inner conscious turmoil that I've had for the past 4 years, right? Ever since I did my comms and culture lessons in college, right? I've had a consciousness complex that no one else is conscious but me. All right, and that's not.
Oh gosh.
Okay, me and you, I think we've had this conversation in the past, right?
Okay.
Of the question I ask myself is that why am I the person that gets to see through my eyes and live the life that I'm living and be conscious in the way that I'm conscious, but no one else is? Not no one else is conscious, but no one else gets to see what I'm seeing, right?
See, this gets as meta as it can. Because,
honestly,
if I'm hearing you say that, and I'm thinking the same thing, but I don't know if you're the robot and I'm the one who's conscious, or whether maybe it's the other way around.
See, there was genuinely a thing I watched the other day. Maybe it was the other week. I can't remember. But it was the idea. It was a psychological study that you can never prove, and philosophical study, you can never prove that someone else is conscious other than yourself, and even yourself, you can't even prove that you're conscious. Okay.
Yeah.
So it'd be the case of asking the simple question of who are you, what do you think, and how can you prove that you're conscious? Right?
It gets very hairy very quickly.
This is the question you fucking asked, so
Well, no. What I want to know is what sort of stuff do you do that just makes your adrenaline run?
Sorry, mate. Too late.
Oh no, I've done it now.
Jump down this rabbit hole. I'm going to finish my statement and then we can go back to the normal question. So, all right, I've jumped down. There is a concept that if you can't prove that anyone else is conscious other than yourself, yeah, that they are in states of beings that you have manifested yourself, ultimately demeaning that you are God. No, you laugh. Honestly, you laugh. I swear to God, this is an actual study.
So you swear to yourself, do you?
Shut up. I don't personally believe this, but there is actually a study that if you can't prove that anyone else is conscious other than yourself, that you are manifesting them in your own life, it's almost like that you are. If you want to meet someone, okay, and you think of them in a very specific and particular way, you'd be able to manifest them into your life somehow, and they wouldn't be conscious. And then you've got the ideal that maybe there's only a couple people in the world that are conscious, right? And the rest are all like, not drones, but like the rest are all just manifestations of other people's consciousnesses. Okay.
Well, we've spoken about that. We've spoken about that before. How, like obviously what BIRD stands for. It's the government drone.
The government drone, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Fucking everyone's a drone. But it goes in a really dark, deep hole. Ultimately saying that you are creating these people and that you are a god that is creating your own world, which is a very, very sad and endless expanse of nothing.
Can I give you one shred of, subjective evidence that I think this isn't happening, and I can tell you why I think it isn't happening? Okay?
Go ahead, drone.
Go ahead, bird.
Go ahead,
so,
the government.
Humans are brilliant. We are lovely, but we are messy. We are damn messy creatures. And out of everything that we have created to do jobs for us, whether it be machinery, mechanical machinery, technology, whatever it is, we are by far the most faulty of all of it, right? Yeah. So if I'd manifested everything around me, then I would guarantee that one of my friends would end up turning up as a dog that speaks Spanish because I've manifested it incorrectly. I want a car, but I've got a giant lettuce leaf with wheels. No.
See, this is where the distinction is. That wouldn't happen because in your head you know that's ridiculous. You can't manifest things out of the realm of normality to a certain bracket. Okay. You can't manifest a leaf that has wheels that suddenly flies up into the air. Okay, because it's not normal. It would literally tear almost like the fabric of reality in two in a second if that came out as real. Okay.
Well, maybe.
So if you manifested something that bizarre, your whole world that you created, if this was true, would shatter. So when your brain knows in itself that they can't create that thing in particular.
But then when you go to like quantum physics, nothing makes sense, and there isn't, the laws of the universe stop making sense and stop working like that. So how does it?
Proved the laws of physics? No.
Well, not personally, no.
Can I just say, if someone's not watched any of the fucking podcasts before this and have jumped into this episode, they might think we're the biggest cokeheads. It's
I
like,
know
"Mate,
if they
bro,
if they
dude, we are gods. I swear to fucking God. The other day, I looked at my dog, and goddamn, I saw my own soul in her eyes.
if they've watched the podcast before, they'll know it's absolutely true.
Yes, of course. Yeah, we are
Which is
the government drones,
meditating meth addicts.
mate. Really trip someone out though as well. If they are listening to this podcast, just say that we can hear you. We are watching you, and you need to wake up from your dream.
Nice.
Right
Good
now.
good touch. All right,
Please
Neo.
wake up. Wake up. Wake up, samurai. You
But
got a
anyway,
silly to burn.
back to the
Anyway.
original question. That
Sorry,
was,
yeah, the complete and utter tangent.
a bit more simple, you
A
could
bit
say.
more simple. What do I
What
do to
sort of
stay
stuff
alive?
do you do that just makes you know you're alive, that you enjoy? It gets your adrenaline running, it gets your blood pumping harder. What do you do, and you can't say sex, that just lets you know you're alive?
I can't say sex anyway because it doesn't fucking happen. But moving on.
Oh no.
What gets my blood pumping?
Yeah.
I don't really know. I guess but I can't do those type of things in everyday life. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like,
no, I'm not
skiing,
expecting this to be like
skiing
a
would
wake
get
up.
my blood pumping, but I can't do that every day. Going on roller coasters would get my blood pumping, but I can't do that every day.
Right, but for some people, you know, being a mathlete is what's going to get their blood pumping every day, and you know, joining those competitions. For others, like yourself, it might be skiing. What sort of things? It doesn't matter how infrequently they happen. What sort of things do that for you?
Being champ one in Rocket League. Let's fucking go,
I was
baby.
about
Let's go.
to say
It's about the
Rocket
Mets.
League.
No, I'm joking. I don't know. I actually really don't know. That's quite a hard question. You know what's? I'm going to say this, and I might be completely outing myself here as a nerd, but I don't care.
Okay.
D&D.
Yes.
The stress, along with the enjoyment and just gratification factor of DMing a game that hopefully everyone enjoys and spends the next 4 hours of their life just having fun.
Yeah.
And getting to see a whole story kind of unfold that you are either helping to create by being a player or almost manifesting it yourself being a DM.
Yeah.
That's
a good shout.
It is thrilling. It is, if you are into that type of stuff, it is, and that does get my that gets my blood pumping a little bit more so than from the anxiety of it. Or the fact that I might kill another character. Sorry, Caligos. But
That was a hard monster. Okay, it was a lot of heads. It had a lot of heads.
it was there to be run away from, not fought. But you know, we live and we learn. We live and we learn. So yeah, probably that. What else? I just realised I've been talking away from the mic, thinking this whole time. It might sound like shit now that I'm facing the other way. I actually don't know. Obviously, going to gym is fun,
Yeah.
but I don't know whether that's like, oh my god, it makes me feel alive.
While you're thinking, let me tell you a couple of activities for me. So physical activities that make me feel alive. So number one, downhill biking. It's
Okay.
something which I've dabbled in sort of stunts as a kid. We used to build our own ramps and make our own like trial bike courses and things like that. So that for me has always been something that I've loved. Now as I've grown older and more dad bodier, downhill biking has become even more dangerous because I now have the weight of an elephant coming down on two wheels instead of the featherweight of a child. But nevertheless, it's something which I absolutely love. And especially like Wales, South Wales has some great downhill tracks where you get driven up to the top of a hill and then you just descend like a couple of miles down to the bottom of the hill. Amazing. Really, really good stuff. So downhill biking.
Yeah.
Ice skating is another one. So ice skating is one that's really fun because it's a very visceral experience. You know, you've got the cold on your face, you've got the ice, you've got the people, you're all wearing scarves and you're going really fast and trying not to hit each other. I really enjoy that. So there's a couple of things for me that definitely make me feel more alive.
I feel like I could sit here, right, and talk about skiing for hours, right?
Yeah.
Genuinely, out of the few things that I do, activity wise or hobby wise, that aren't indoors, skiing is probably the top of the list. Purely because, and I think a lot of people that have gone skiing can attest to this. There is such a sensation and just a feeling of just pure bliss, absolute bliss of being above the clouds on your 2 feet. There's something about flying in an airplane and looking above the clouds when you fly, but actually being on top of a mountain above clouds themselves and being able to ski through them whilst hearing the crunching and crisp sound of snow under your skis, there is no other feeling in the world that comes close to a feeling of amazement, I guess.
Can you take me skiing one time? Because I've never been. Ever.
I would love to. I would take anyone. You could any person in the world could message me tomorrow and say, "Do you want to go skiing?" And I'll say yes.
Is that a challenge?
Yes. Please. If you're paying, I'll go skiing.
Just take us both, please.
It is such a phenomenal experience. And I've never met anyone that's gone abroad skiing and has come back and thought, "Yeah, that was shit." Like,
yeah,
they have a bug for it afterwards. Especially if you go with the right company. I think if you go with the right company and they can, you always want to go skiing with someone that knows how to ski, so they can and doesn't mind actually taking the time to be patient and teach you.
I don't think I'd need patience. I think I'd just hit the slope and I'd be black routes, off piste, big jumps, no problems.
Okay, is that a challenge?
Yeah, but I'm going to start on a snowboard.
You're going to start on a snowboard?
I've always preferred the idea of snowboarding because I just think I'd find it easier with the weight of my body.
I can't help you there.
Oh, have you never been snowboarding?
No.
Have you not?
No.
You madman. You should go.
It's harder. Well, it's harder in some aspects than it is in others. I think have you been? You say you do ice skating, right?
I do. I used to do inline skating on tarmac, and I was pretty good at that. But that translated over to ice skating fairly well. So I don't ice skate, but because of that, I was
but you can
fairly all right. Yeah.
Right. Can you skateboard?
I've never really done much of skateboarding, in all fairness.
Then you would prefer skiing.
Yeah, but the thing about skiing is that you've got these platforms that are, like the length of your body on your feet.
That's the exact same as a fucking snowboard.
But on a snowboard, it's more like your body's spread out over it slightly, a bit more.
No, it's not.
I mean, in all fairness, I'm talking out of my anus. I was
going to say, you don't know what you're talking about.
But I'm going to argue the point anyway. I'd love to. I want to give snowboarding
ice skating is the same as skiing in a lot of movements. There is a skiing. It might not be the correct terminology, but there is a stop in skiing that 90% of skiers use for parallel called a hockey stop. And it's exactly how ice skaters stop or hockey players stop when they dig their blades into the ice, and they do that kind of movement.
Ice skating is like skiing, just with much harder snow.
Yeah. Yes, Joel.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Whereas skateboarding is like snowboarding. It's a lot of weight shifting. Similar to skiing, but just weight shifting in a skateboardy way and a surf kind of way.
Surfing, I've done that once.
Yeah, how'd that go?
I didn't catch a wave. In fact, this is another good example of a sport that really makes you feel alive, and also buried underwater. Because I went with a friend, and it was a friend who, he surfs a fair bit, and I never did. And he was looking at the waves sort of the day before we went, and he was saying, "It looks good, man. It looks like it's going to be like a 3 foot to 5 foot swell." And I was like, "Oh man, okay. I wish it was going to be bigger because those are tiny waves." I'm like, my dog's like 3 feet tall, and she's tiny. Well, she's not tiny, but compared to me, she is. I'm like, I'm more than 5
Padme
feet.
is tiny.
She's in comparison to like me, or anything
If Padme
bigger.
stood on her hind legs, she'd be the same fucking size as you, probably.
She's never done that. I wish she would. I could give her a hug then. But anyway, he was like 3 to 5 feet, and I was like, "That's not great." And he was like, "Yeah, it's pretty good. Don't worry about it." And I'd be like, "No, it's small. We can't surf on that." Anyway, we get there, and there are loads of people surfing, and I'm like, "I'm obviously missing something." And then when I got in the water, it finally hit me, and I realized that so when you're in the water, you're obviously up to your neck anyway, and you're swimming. And then it's 3 to 5 feet above that again. And I was like, these waves are massive.
Have you ever been in a tsunami wave simulator?
No. Where do you find that?
Tenerife?
What?
You know Siam Park in Tenerife?
No, I don't, but I
Okay.
think I need to.
Have you been to Tenerife?
Yeah, when I was like 7 or 10 or something.
Okay. Well, whoever took you is a loser.
It was my parents and their friends, but sure.
You need to go to Siam Park in Tenerife. That's
Okay.
all I'll say. There are, or if you go to America, there's one on Volcano Bay, I think it's called, or Volcano Island. I can't remember. A lot of places have them where it's just a wave machine, right?
Yeah.
But in Tenerife, there is a man-made beach in Siam Park, and it's most of the resort is there because obviously you're sunbathing, you're loving your life, and there's water. At the end of the water, there's these big like wooden barricade walls, right? And at
Yeah.
the far end, in the very middle of this man-made ocean, is a temple, right? Every 30 minutes, you just hear this dong, 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 and you see all the people off their sun lounge chairs get into the water as well, and the water is packed. Like you stood shoulder to shoulder with people sometimes on a really busy day, and then all of a sudden, this like kind of like drawbridge from the temple opens up, and this 10-foot tsunami wave comes out of there and wipes out everyone in the water. And it's not just once, probably about 3 or 4 tsunami waves come out of that water, and it is insane.
And this is just deemed safe. This is just deemed fine.
They've got lifeguards there, they're fine. Okay.
The lifeguards turn into trauma surgeons. When you said Tsunami Simulator, I thought you were going to say it's a big wave, and then they also just like put some cars and some boats in there as well, a couple of boxes,
No.
roof
It's a
tiles.
man-made beach that sends out a 10-foot wave every 30 minutes.
That sounds awesome.
And it is awesome. It's fucking amazing. I don't know how we got to that. Oh yeah, you were talking about surfing. That made me feel alive, drowning. That's another thing. In Volcano Island, you know those water slides that just go straight down? Like there's a tiny like incline as you go down, but most of them are just like pitfall drops.
Yeah.
So there's one in Volcano Island Bay, whatever it's called in Florida, and it is at the top of the man-made volcano, right?
Okay.
And you go in a tube. By the time you get to the top of the volcano, because you have to go up all these stairs, and genuinely, I'm not afraid of heights, but going up these kind of like rickety stairs that are around, I want to say it's about 80 foot in the air, right? It's quite daunting because you feel you feel helpless because you're walking up the side of this mountain really high up in the air. You've got no clothes on besides your swimming shorts, and it's getting colder and colder and colder. Okay.
Yeah, you get higher and higher.
Exactly. And you're thinking, I'm gonna fucking die. Shit. And you get to the top, and there's this tube that has a door that you shut, right? And you look into the tube because it's got this like glass panel, and in front of you there's an opening, like almost like the mouth of the volcano, right? And you can see how high you are, and you can see the man-made beach below you, and all of the rest of the slides around the resort. You are in a tube facing out to that on a platform, and you're like, all right, so what happens? They just stood in a tube. The platform disappears from under you, and you just go woof, straight down. I was what, 17, 18, shitting myself genuinely because I'd never been on one. I'm really good with rides, adrenaline, and all that type of stuff. But that was the first time in a very, very, very long time where I was like, I'm fucked.
I don't know what to do.
Fucked. I'm dead. I'm gonna die. Goodbye.
So let me tell you about I have been on one of those. I think we can both share this because I have some family out that live in Spain.
Yes.
And
check out straight up early morning churros. By the way.
And we go over there sometimes, and when we were younger, we'd go over as a family. We went over the last time, I think, in 2019. And for a day, it was me, my girlfriend, my sister, her boyfriend, I think. And we all... Or was it just three of us? Anyway, whoever it was, we all went to Aqualandia. And Aqualandia is Benidorm's water park. And, you know, the water is horrifically salty and chlorinated and all that sort of stuff. But there's a ride on there. It used to be called Kamikaze, but they got rid of Kamikaze and they've changed it for a ride. I want to call it Vertigo. And you go, so it's like you say with the volcano ride, it's up a natural incline anyway. And then you go up a huge man-made structure. And that's exactly the same. It's got a glass tube with the bottom drops out from underneath you. And this one is 13 stories high. So we're talking massive. Yeah. And the first time I did it, we got to the top and we were obviously, you know, scared and what have you and all the other stuff. So we go into the tube and they're like, cross your legs. Need you ask why? Because the water's going to get into all manner of places it shouldn't. So they tell you to cross your legs, fair enough. They tell you to cross your arms over your chest to keep them in and to stop them flailing about and hitting the side of the way down. Yeah. And the first time I did it, I was absolutely fine. Loved it. I thought, oh my gosh, what a thrilling ride.
What a
bit painful.
You sound so fucking posh. Get to the bottom of the slide. Oh my goodness, what a thrilling ride. I might do that again.
By golly, that was spiffing. Jeeves, order 2 more.
Golly, I've got water in my ears.
But yeah, and I thought it was great. So we went again. And we went up to the top. And we got there, and this time you're getting cocky. Yeah, I know the drill. Yeah, cross my legs so the water doesn't, you know, take my balls off. And yeah, I'm going to cross my arms and all that sort of jazz. And as I put my hands to the opposing shoulder, I pulled my back so it was slightly rounded, and I didn't mean to. Now, if you've ever been on
rounded
one of these rides,
rounded as in like your belly was poking out a bit more, or rounded as in like you were slouching?
As in slightly hunched, yeah, slightly slouching.
Okay, right.
And if you've ever been on one of these rides, you might know what I mean. Or if you're about to go on one, heed the advice.
I know what you're gonna say.
As you go down, you tend to bounce a little bit. And as you're picking up speed to like 30, 40, 50 miles an hour, you are really feeling the effects of having no top, just a pair of swim shorts and your bare spine just bouncing down the air. Oh man, I couldn't like walk properly for days. I was absolutely floored.
I had a similar experience because I only did this slide once, right? Because the walk up there was so fucking tedious as it was. I didn't bother doing it again, right? But the guy was like, "Hold your breath." So obviously I crossed my legs, crossed my arms, like he told me, and he was like, "Keep looking forward, hold your breath until you get to the bottom," right? I made the stupid mistake of looking down.
Oh
Not on the drop, but like as we were going down, I'm like, fuck, and I need to like, when does it stop, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And so I looked down and opened and went, I breathed. I tried to breathe. By the time I got out of the other side of the slide, I'm just constantly just like almost dying from the intake of water that's been drilled into the back of my nostrils. And it was a great experience, but it's like I thought I'd get on the other side, I'd be fine, let's go again. No. I was coughing up my lungs on the other side of the slide. But it was a great experience. I felt like I was alive, Joel. You know what I mean?
Good. Oh, really? Did you? when you're fighting for your life, you feel really alive.
It's a common trend, I think. So first I was drowning in a tsunami wave. Then I was coughing my lungs up full of water on a kamikaze slide. And then I'm skiing off a cliffside, and that's when I feel alive. I'm starting to notice a little bit of a trend on how I feel alive.
You put yourself in danger and hope for the best.
Yeah, I think so. That next we go skydiving.
So here we go. Me and my girlfriend did an experience day over in Manchester, and it was indoor skydiving. Mm-hmm. Now,
I've done
never
a wind
tunnel.
tunnel.
Yeah,
like
wind
a wind
tunnel.
Yeah.
Have you done it before?
Yeah, I've done it. I did it on a cruise.
On a cruise?
On a cruise with a spot of tea in my hand, darling.
Sheesh, what is this? Diary of a Rich Kid? Bloody hell, man.
Do you not know that I'm minted? What the fuck? I told you
I
get
didn't
carried through a street on a throne. I think I'm joking.
I thought you were just working class, just like the rest of us.
I swear to God, I thought you were going to turn around and say like the rest of Birmingham. Then I'm like, mate, I know where you live.
I live in a mining town. What?
So do I, actually. I live in a blacksmith town.
Blacksmith town. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I expect you to forge me a weapon.
No, we just made the Titanic anchor that was never used for some reason. Not sure why.
Well, I guess in a way it was.
Yeah, really?
But anyway, so we went indoor skydiving. Loved it to bits. But one of the weird moments of that is it's really hard to breathe when all this fresh air is just being forced to inflate your lungs anyway. And it's weird because you sort of don't need to breathe because all this air is constantly going into your lungs. So your lungs are getting fed all the oxygen that they need, but you just don't really... It's all getting circulated by itself almost. It's a very strange feeling. But I remember seeing that, in fact, and there was, I think a child went on before me. So the guy in the control unit obviously has to vary the wind speed depending on your weight, but he's got to eyeball it. He's just got to guess as you jump. He's like, okay, well, I think they weigh this much, so let's just put the speed up to X amount. And that's a funny one, because when you see anyone slightly larger jump on, and all of a sudden you hear the fans go as they try and support the weight, and that happened when I jumped on. But that was a great experience, and we've actually booked to go again because we eventually do want to go up to a proper skydive.
Mine was a weird one because obviously they show you like the proper form for it, and me being like physically active and doing all manner of sports at that period of time, I was like, oh yeah, no worries, I've got this in the fucking bag, So 7-8 years of dancing, no problem. I've got this form on lock. I go into the wind tunnel and I've got this guy pulling and dragging on my sleeves and trousers, being like, "Get in form, get in form." I'm like, "Fuck me, alright." Like obviously he had to shout, because it was in a fucking wind tunnel, Funnily enough, spoiler alert, they're not quiet. Crazy, but imagine. But yeah, he was shouting at me and like dragging my feet and hands into position. I'm like, bro, it's a fucking X shape. All right, I'm pretty sure my hands and body are in like an I look like a cat falling out of a window. All right, that's. What else do you want me to do? I'm not flying up into the ceiling fan. Okay, I'm not flying off the boat. Stop shouting at me. Let me do my shit. And for the we only had a couple minutes on there. It wasn't amazing, but he was just holding me the entire time and dragging me into this position. I'm like, oh, well, all right. That's the one time I didn't feel alive. I felt like I was a puppet.
It is a humbling experience because you realize when you first start skydiving how shit you are at skydiving. Because I was exactly the same. I thought, I'm going to absolutely rinse this. It's going to be so easy. And then I jumped in and he sort of let me go for 2 or 3 seconds. Then he's back on again and he just started to let go. And then I started drifting off to the wall and then I knocked into the wall and then he's dragging me back again and all this sort of stuff. And then at the end, they give you like a rating on everything. And my rating was low. And I was like, come on. Surely it wasn't that bad. Like, you let me go for a fair bit. And then, yeah, I was gutted. I was humbled. I wanted to be really good at that.
We didn't get rated myself, but we got a funny picture for each person.
Nice.
Of all the facial, expressions that you pull when you've got 5-6 G's of wind blowing into your face, which is quite funny.
It's like when you put on one of those orthodontist braces that hold your lips apart.
Exactly, and your eyeballs.
And your yeah, the orthodontist did really hold my eyeballs apart. That's true.
On a different note, right? I've got a question to ask you.
Oh no, go ahead.
What skill, talent, whatever, do you wish you had learnt or have naturally that you don't have?
Oh, it's really hard because there aren't many, mate. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I know.
Loads.
That's why I'm asking you and you're not asking me.
Yeah, because for you there are just none.
Exactly. Thank you. At least I didn't have to say it.
Do you know what? I think.
By the way, I'm the most humble guy you'll ever meet. Joel.
While he's on his throne, yeah. I would have loved to. Let me think. And have naturally a faster metabolism. Damn it.
That's not a talent, okay? It's hard work, determination.
At the end of the day.
It's about drive. It's about power.
We stay hungry. We devour.
All right, Rock. Chill out. Fucking hell.
Yeah, I would have liked to have. Maybe being a bit more focused. I think it's not necessarily a talent at a specific thing.
Motherfucker,
but I wish.
Give me a good answer, okay?
This is a great answer. You just
rather
let it mature.
focus.
Let the wine breathe. Okay. Let the
him
wine
chalk,
breathe.
bro. Let him chalk.
Let him chalk. I wish I could have been more focused because I think as a youngster, and even now to some degree, I find it difficult to focus on something long enough to actually become any good at it.
Mm-hmm.
So I really wish that I would have been able to, I think, harness more focus at a specific thing when I was younger, so that now I could actually enjoy the fruits of being really good at something rather than kind of, a lot of things.
Right. Well,
what about you, Gareth?
Motherfucker. That's such a lame-o answer, Joel. Come on.
Okay.
What happened to...
I wish I could jump higher.
I wish I was about... No, I'm joking. Focus is a good one, I think. I think I'd agree with you on that. Obviously, it's a very good skill to be disciplined and focused. But I would, if given the chance, I'd either be really good in a martial arts or just naturally gifted or do the lessons when I was younger to play the piano.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because I envy the people that can just listen to a song by ear and just like, oh, I can fucking play that. You know.
Yeah. Or, I obviously studied music in college, and I was never as good as the majority of people in that, and I came out with an abysmal grade. But it was really interesting because I would be around people who they'd come in, someone would be playing piano, and they would come in and they'd watch the person playing piano, and they'd be like, they'd have like their guitar or you know, saxophone, whatever.
Mate, if I could play the sax, holy shit, I'd be the.
But, like they'd watch the person playing piano and they go, oh, you're in the key of F. Okay, 1 second, and they just start jamming in the key of F.
Yeah.
Oh, ooh.
You know what? I take it back. No piano. I'd rather no. Oh. I think I wish I'd be able to play the piano and the saxophone.
We have a saxophone here if you want to come up and try it.
Is that a euphemism?
No, that's more. That's my double bass.
That's your double bass. Sexy. But yeah, I wish I could play sax and piano, because you are right. It's a case of like someone starts playing and people start listening. Because there's, it's a bit like say for example, me doing dance. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a similar effect, but not at the same time. Because if there's a piano in the room and you just sit down, you play, you can do that and do two things at the same time. You can mind your own business and play, and draw the attention of a crowd, right?
Yeah.
If you did that with dance, you're not minding your own business because it takes up a fucking floor space.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You also have to put on the music that you want to dance to, right? So yes, you might draw a crowd, but for the completely wrong reason. All right?
People telling you to go away.
And you can't exactly turn down the sound of your dancing. With a piano, you can just turn down the sound and mind your own business. You can't, like, dance quietly in a room.
No, and if you try, all you can hear is dum dum of your feet and your hands, and it just sounds like a right mess.
But it's like say for example, if you are a good dancer though, you get people like what happened to me in Bridgend, which was lovely. Don't get me wrong, but I don't. It's that like poke the monkey and dance, you know, dance monkey dance sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, here, mate, you can dance, go and do that dance, and then you have to get up, do the dance, and show everyone while everyone's watching. And like I said, it's a really lovely thing to have happen, but you kind of like pushed into doing it rather than doing it off your own accord.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
I really get you. I used to well, I am a drummer, but I used to do it a lot when I was a kid, and I learned a lot, and I'd say I've got fairly good, especially for my age at the time. But you know, I loved it because I like dance. There's very few moments in drumming where you can really show off what you can do, because it has to be facilitated. Because you can't drum in your own space, or you can't just like, you know, pick up a drum kit in a public space and just have a go at it and mind your own business. It's loud, it's obnoxious, it takes up space. It sounds pretty bad when it's on its own sometimes. It doesn't sound anything, it's not decent. And you can get smaller kits, but generally for like a rock drum kit, there's no way to do that and just jam. Exactly.
It's just not as nice as walking in on someone playing the piano, is it?
No, we had a friend once who, believe it or not, who went. You know, we went to we were on holiday and we went to a shop that had quite a lot of pianos in, and there was this concert grand, and this guy, it was like £25,000, and this guy was like, this concert grand is on sale, but this piano is actually doing a tour of the country, so, you know, just to try and find a buyer, basically. And he was like, you could try it if you want, you know, you could have a play on it. And he was like, yeah, sure, okay. And we had no idea. We thought, he's just gonna play like, you know, some silly old like nursery rhyme or something. And he breaks into Bach, straight into a classical concerto, playing it beautifully, might I add. I was like, all right then, chill out, mate. All right, we're only on holiday. It's not a concert. But, you know, those hidden talents are ones that people can practice in private on their own, and then just whap them out and wow everyone.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you go to a party,
Where are you gonna
or
do
something,
that
like,
for
say,
dance?
Yeah,
You're gonna go to a fucking club in Birmingham and just start street dancing on the floor, are you?
and
So
then
you're
get
that kid sick at dancing, yeah? And you're just like taking up half the fucking club space.
oh look, he's getting beaten up. Oh, he's getting dragged out. Oh dear. Oh no. I hope that kid's okay.
But you know what's funny? The way you said it as well on that story, on the story you just told, is it's such a British response of if someone's talented at something, it's like, all right, mate, fucking show off. It's so British to turn around. It's like, all right, dickhead, fucking make us look bad. Oi. You know?
We're the worst nation at supporting
We
other
are.
people who
We
are like
really
doing well.
are.
What's the word? We're snide.
Pessimistic.
Yeah.
Mate, honestly, you could be the best pianist in the world. Come along, it's like, oh, is there a piano there? Do you mind if I just have a little jam? You know, a completely harmless thing in a music shop. And it's like, oh yeah. And he's so talented, and he's like, all right, dickhead, fucking come on. Waste, man. It's like, why have we got to be such knobs about it?
Why can't you just be like, mate, that's incredible. You should take that further. That's
is
really good. I'm proud of that. I'm proud of
Fantastic. You are so talented, and it is incredible. Well done. Not, wait, well done, dickhead.
You got to
Show
drag
off.
someone down. You'd be like, you can't be good at anything. Do you know what? You look like you ran into a wall. You might be talented, but you look terrible. Just so you know.
Your face looks like a dog's arsehole. What shame. What shame.
Yeah.
All right, big boy, take off your fucking jacket and fuck off. Okay. Wow.
that
Wow,
what
wow, wow.
you do
Play the
when-
piano. Playing the piano, are we? Fucking loser.
You turn into Gordon Ramsay when you see someone talented.
Straight up. That's it now. Oh, you good at dancing? Fucking loser. Pansy. Pansy.
Yeah.
What shame.
Yeah. I have to say, I did dance as well. But
Oh, yeah.
you are
Here we
definitely
go.
the better
Here
of
we
the
go.
two of us.
Here we go.
So you can get lost, mate. Honestly, just on your bike, off you go.
Yeah. Sorry, mate. I'll go to the girls' room and dance. Right.
Talented bastard.
Okay. All right. Enough of that now. All right. But
It's so I think as well as it's so easy to not recognize people's talents when you sort of initially meet them, because how are you ever meant to know? You know, you sometimes with dancers you can tell by just the way they move. It's usually quite fluid and quite nice. But if someone's really good at playing piano, how are you going to know unless at some point in the years of knowing them they just whack out a piano one day? You are.
Writing. Sorry. What?
What did you say?
Nothing.
Am I going to listen back for this?
Yeah, maybe.
I tell you what, something that doesn't necessarily make me feel alive, but it reminds me that I am alive, is working out or running.
Say that one more time. I completely blanked out.
It's like, sorry, I'm not interested in listening anymore.
What
are we doing? I was on my phone.
Are we recording a podcast? What's going on?
I
Wait
was
a
just
minute.
messing with my bottle.
Well, sorry, I was dancing. Wait. What's happening? So I heard running or something.
Yeah, so something that makes me not necessarily feel alive, but reminds me I am alive, is working out or running.
Yeah.
It's painful, it's tiring, but when you speaking of being posh, when you finished and you have done it, you feel pretty good.
I don't know. Whenever I go running, which is never, I've felt like I'm dying afterwards. Like, running's the one thing I can't do. I can row, I can skip, I can fucking deadlift, do all the different types of body isolation exercises. I can play badminton and do any other sport but run.
You can't run at all. So if someone was chasing you with a knife, what you just skip away.
No, I'd dance away, you know what I mean? Woo.
Contemporary. Ooh.
He's got a fucking knife to my throat, start dancing, he's like, alright, talented cunt, and then he'd leave.
And then he'd jump on a concert grand and start playing Symphony No. 5.
No, he'd jump in with the choreography. I'll just teach him. Be like, yo, all right, box step this way. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Retrograde.
That's
Gorgeous.
it. Top rock. Give him some top rock. Yeah, love that.
Beautiful. Now swing. Now swing.
Yeah, I really enjoy running. That's, to be fair, that's something I could probably wish I had a better talent at, was running, because naturally I'm not exactly a marathon runner.
Yeah, okay. I
I'm
don't think anyone is, naturally.
I'm more of a sprint, but I'm more of like the 10-foot sprint guy, you know?
To the bathroom.
Yeah, to the fridge.
To the fridge. No, I honestly, I've got friends that are like, oh, I had a really shit day of running today. I'm like, oh yeah, how far? Oh, 12 miles, man. It was shit. It was awful. I was like, 12 miles?
Yeah, you're like, but you only went out running for half an hour. Like, yeah, I did like 12 miles in like 3.5 minutes, man. But that's terrible. That's so far off my pace.
Yeah, I spent 27 of the other minutes beating myself up about it. I'm like, okay. Fucking, all right, Flash. Fucking hell.
Yeah, there are people that, well, it's whatever you're used to, isn't it? It's whatever's new for you. You know, if you can do a 5-minute mile, that's something crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Then if you do a 6-minute mile, you'll think you're rubbish. But I do a 9-minute mile, 10-minute mile, and I'm like, hell yeah, look at me.
I don't do
crazy.
miles at all.
I used to run to work every day, run to and from work every day. It was about 2 miles to work, and I used to run it every day.
Yeah.
It was really good. I loved it while I was doing it, but now I live 8 miles from work, so it's a no from me.
Yeah, but that's not an excuse, really, is it?
Half a marathon every day. Why not?
Yeah. You complain, you know, about not feeling alive. 8-mile fucking jog. There you go.
I
Bob's
did
your uncle. Jill's your aunt.
used to cycle to work. It was about 7 point something miles each way, and I did used to cycle to work. And that was really good for a while. It was good, to be fair, but it was also very visceral, and it's just getting sprayed. It was through winter. It was cold. It was dark.
And then your bike got stolen because you live in Leeds.
No, that happened before. That happened way before this. This was another bike that I bought off the back of that one being stolen.
Ah, of course. And then that one got burnt.
That was no. That was the bike before that.
Oh right, okay.
That was actually a motorbike.
Which one got run over?
No, right. So we had a motorbike that got stolen, joyridden, and burnt out in a field.
Yeah.
That's a tragic story that I'll share one day. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
And then I bought another city bike for riding in the city. This was a cycle bike, and I locked it up outside a shop for 10 minutes. Locked it with a D-lock and one of those gold-rated chain locks for 10 minutes into a shop. Came out and the damn thing had gone, and they'd cut through my locks. I was quite glad I didn't
welcome
find
back
them.
to the lock-picking lawyer, and I'm going to show you how...
Mate, there was no lock picking involved. There was just a really, really big set
It's
of
fucking
jaw clamps or whatever
wire
they're called. Wire cutters, yeah. So that was the one that got stolen, and then since then I haven't had a bike stolen. So no one even try it.
I was actually just taking the piss about you living in North and getting bikes stolen. I didn't actually expect you to have your bikes stolen.
Oh yeah.
I was just joking.
I've had a bike stolen. It was worth a fair bit as well. I was really gutted.
Did that make you feel alive?
It made me feel
Dead
angry,
inside.
beyond angry. I'm quite glad I didn't find the person who did it straight away, to be fair, because it wouldn't have gone.
I think, though, at the end of the day, Joel, you're only as alive as you feel, and as we've said, we are God. We have manifested this life, and the question that needs to be answered is that you need to wake up from your dream. Please wake up, Joel. Wake up.
No.
Alright, see you later.
Alright, bye. I'll go and speak to my best friend who I've manifested as a parrot.
Alright, weird flex, but whatever. Whatever.